I honestly, I wouldn't mind at this point if Caitlyn just started her villain arc. She needs to start putting her foot down because this, like, some of this stuff is getting a little wild. She comes into the WNBA, her biggest life dream to play professional basketball. She comes into the WNBA. She gets a special whistle the opposite way because she's getting fouled and flagrant fouled, and just the defense that they're playing on her is actually insane. Yet, despite all that, has an incredible rookie season. And then on top of that, people are using her name for their hidden agendas on both sides. People are just using Caitlyn's name. And then if she says something, it's not enough. If she doesn't say anything, she never wants to speak out about anything. She cannot win.
What does it take for a league's golden girl to declare war on the very people who run it? Caitlin Clark, the player single-handedly rewriting the WNBA's future, has been pushed to her breaking point. A private comment from the league's commissioner has now ignited a public firestorm, and Clark's stunning response has drawn a line in the sand. This isn't just drama anymore. It's a battle for the soul of the WNBA, and the league is officially in crisis, teetering on the edge of a self-inflicted collapse.
You've continued to express that you're disheartened by the characterization of your conversation with Napheesa Collier. Just again, seeking clarity. Did you in fact say that Caitlin Clark should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything? And do you actually feel that way, that without this platform, players like Caitlin Clark wouldn't be making what they do off the court?
Yeah, obviously I did not make those comments. Caitlin has been a transformational player in this league. She's been a great representative of the game. She's brought in tens of millions of new fans to the game. Proud of what she's put on the court. Unfortunately, the injuries held her back from a full season this year. But again, I'm not going to get into every point, counterpoint. It's not productive here. We're here to celebrate the WNBA finals. I think what Indiana just did was amazing with all the injuries they had and the everything they faced this year, bringing that to a Game 5 in overtime. But yeah, as I said, there's a lot of inaccuracies reported out there, and I certainly did not say that.
It all started with a 6-minute interview that set the world of women's basketball on fire. During her exit interview, WNBPA Vice President Napheesa Collier dropped an absolute bombshell. She claimed that WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert told her in a private conversation that Caitlin Clark should be grateful for the league, implying that Clark's massive endorsement deals were only possible because of the WNBA. That single accusation lit the fuse, and the explosion was immediate. Fans erupted online, and the narrative of the WNBA Finals was completely hijacked. Instead of talking about the Aces or the Liberty, everyone was talking about one thing: the commissioner allegedly disrespecting her biggest star. Instead of putting out the fire, Cathy Engelbert grabbed a can of gasoline. During her pre-finals press conference, she didn't just deny making the comment, she went on the offensive. Engelbert stated that Collier's recollection was full of inaccuracies, and painted their private chat in a completely different light. In front of the national media, she essentially called one of the league's most respected players and a union leader a liar. It was a disastrous move that would have unimaginable consequences, turning a private disagreement into a public spectacle right when the league needed unity the most.
And at the end of the day, she's worried about her. In all of her statements, it's all like, well, I got us here and I should. And Cathy, no one cares. Literally, no one cares. Like how you're sitting right there, that's how we feel every time she speaks. Every time she speaks, us as players, that's how we feel.
But here's what Engelbert clearly didn't understand. Napheesa Collier isn't just some random player venting on social media. She's a key figure in the players' union, sitting at the table for the most important contract negotiations in the league's history. By publicly dismissing her, Engelbert wasn't just disrespecting one player, she was sending a message to every single athlete in the WNBA that their leadership could not be trusted. An attack on a WNBPA vice president was an attack on them all, and it was a mistake that would haunt her. Up until this point, Caitlin Clark had expertly navigated the chaos of her rookie season by staying silent on controversial topics. She kept her head down and played her game. But when reporters finally asked her about the feud, she delivered a simple 4-word sentence that stopped everyone in their tracks. I think Fee's right. In that one moment, the league's biggest star, its main attraction, and its entire marketing strategy officially chose a side. It was the shot heard round the league, a clear and devastating signal that Clark was standing with the players, not the commissioner.
Well, I mean, first of all, I have great respect for Fee, and I think she made a lot of very valid points. And I think what people need to understand, we need great leadership in this time across all levels. This is straight up the most important moment in this league's history. This league's been around for 25 plus years, and this is a moment we have to capitalize on. So that's honestly what I would say. I think there's, Fee said it all with what she said, and, I think the points she made were very valid.
To understand why Clark finally snapped, you have to look back at the brutal welcome she received in the league. The league has used her name and image to shatter ticket sales and viewership records, all while letting her get treated like a human piñata on the court. She was shoved, elbowed, and hip-checked in ways that would have star NBA players living at the free throw line. Referees swallowed their whistles as she was subjected to a level of physicality that bordered on assault. The league called it physicality, but everyone watching knew it was different. This wasn't just defense, it was a message. Beyond the physical abuse, there was the league's marketing mess. The WNBA pushed Clark so hard as the face of everything that it inadvertently created resentment among some veterans. Instead of managing this delicate dynamic, the leadership did nothing. They let the narrative spin out of control, where Clark was painted as both a savior and a villain. She was a pawn in other people's games, as her own coach said. To then hear that the commissioner privately believed she should just be grateful after all that was clearly the ultimate insult. Just when you thought the drama couldn't get any more personal, it did. After Engelbert publicly questioned her honesty, Napheesa Collier made a stunning power move. She canceled their scheduled private meeting to clear the air. But the most shocking part was how Engelbert found out. She wasn't told by Collier or her agent. She learned the meeting was off when she saw an ESPN news alert on her phone. It was a level of public humiliation rarely seen in professional sports, and it proved just how broken the relationship between the players and the commissioner had become. Clark's support wasn't just in words, it was in what she stopped doing. In the days that followed, she went on a silent protest. She stopped reposting WNBA content, made no mention of the finals, and began liking tweets from fans who were fiercely criticizing the league's leadership. Her Indiana Fever teammates, like Lexi Hull, also publicly backed Collier, creating a united front against the commissioner. People started calling it Caitlin Clark's silent rebellion, and it was sending a louder message than any interview ever could. Her silence was deafening. This wasn't just a rift between current players and the league office. It was now drawing in the legends of the game. Former stars began chiming in online, with some expressing embarrassment over the public feud. The discourse revealed a generational divide, with some older voices suggesting these issues should be handled behind closed doors, while the new generation of players, led by Collier and now backed by Clark, showed they were done with quiet diplomacy. They were demanding public accountability, and this unprecedented civil war was playing out for the whole world to see. But this public spat is just the tip of a much larger, more dangerous iceberg. The WNBA is heading into its most critical collective bargaining agreement (CBA) negotiations ever. Players are fighting for higher salaries, better travel accommodations, and a bigger piece of the revenue pie that Clark has helped generate. With trust between the union and the commissioner completely shattered, the possibility of a 2026 lockout is no longer a distant threat. It's becoming a very real possibility that could halt the league's momentum in its tracks. Adding another explosive layer to this conflict is the Unrivaled League, an off-season 3-on-3 league co-founded by Napheesa Collier and Brianna Stewart. This has created a massive, unspoken conflict of interest. WNBA owners are now deeply suspicious, worrying that the players' union leaders might secretly benefit from a WNBA lockout. If the league shuts down in 2026, where would all the star players go to make money? To Unrivaled. This paranoia is poisoning the negotiating room, making any hope for a fair and timely deal seem almost impossible. Through it all, one person's name keeps getting dragged through the mud in a war she never asked to join: Caitlin Clark. She is trying to recover from an injury and prepare for her sophomore season. That her name is being used as a weapon by both the players' union and the league's front office. To be told she should be grateful for what the league gives her is laughable. The truth is, the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark infinitely more than she needs them. And this entire mess has exposed just how little the league's leadership seems to grasp that fundamental reality. This internal chaos is now risking real financial damage. Sponsors and media partners like ESPN and Nike invest in leagues for their positive image and thrilling competition, not for public relations nightmares. A league at war with its own stars is a toxic brand. Whispers have already begun about whether these corporate giants are getting nervous when your league's biggest storyline is about who is lying and whether your commissioner will be fired. It doesn't take long for sponsors to start wondering if their money is in the right place. The league thought they could control the narrative, but they forgot about the fans. Online, the backlash against Cathy Engelbert has been brutal and unrelenting. The hashtag #SiderCathy has trended for days, and memes comparing her to the dog in the This Is Fine comic have gone viral. For the first time, fans who usually argue about everything, from foul calls to MVP votes, are united on one thing: the WNBA is fumbling its golden goose. The league has been gifted the biggest star in women's sports history and seems determined to alienate her. Here lies the unspoken threat that is now hanging over the entire WNBA, Caitlin Clark's true power. She hasn't threatened anything publicly, but she doesn't have to. Everyone knows that if she were to truly leverage her influence by demanding a trade, hinting at sitting out, or even just publicly withdrawing her support for the league's direction, the entire structure could crumble. Her presence is the driving force behind the upcoming media rights deal, which is expected to be worth billions. She holds all the cards, and the league knows it. This whole disaster has become so much bigger than a simple disagreement. It's a full-blown crisis of leadership that has exposed the deep cracks in the WNBA's foundation. With the players in open rebellion and the league's biggest asset siding against her, the question is no longer if the WNBA has a leadership problem, but how long Adam Silver and the NBA will let it burn before they are forced to step in. Cathy Engelbert's credibility appears to be shattered, and with a potential 2026 lockout looming, a change at the top might be the only thing that can save the WNBA from itself before it's too late.